Yeah.
It sounds like that the non-disclosure agreement has been softened or re-communicated by the CSCOPE and the school district to faculty. That's moving in the right direction, number one. Number two, the legislature, no doubt, is going to fix the SBOE relationship with the content and curriculum to abide by state standards. That may not happen, well, it's going to happen by the end of this session for sure. It may not get implemented until your next fiscal year. So there's no oversight of content now, other than the one-off stuff that somebody might talk about. So my question, or my suggestion, would be to reinforce to your faculty their freedom to come to their principals or to the administration and point out the flaws, if there are any, or inappropriate content, so that can be at least documented and sent to administration or CSCOPE for repair. Right now it's going to go on, and if there's some fear of retribution for bringing up those kind of issues, it needs to be cleared in my mind.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'll make one comment. At the risk of opening up another can of worms, CSCOPE is not the problem, folks. If you want to get upset, CSCOPE is just a method of delivery. Look at the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. Most of these things that you are talking about are not a CSCOPE issue, they're a TEX issue. As Dennis read, here's what the state is telling us that we must teach. That's not a CSCOPE problem. That's a TEX problem, right? I mean, if you people want to get involved and know where the issues are in public education, go look at TEX. That's where you're going to get upset.
Take one more question, and I've got a concluding comment for you. Yes, sir.
Thanks. I think Ronnie mentioned that CSCOPE is a vendor.
I did, yeah.
You told me, I'm sorry.
They're a vendor.
Could we have a short biography of who they are, where they're headquartered, what kind of track record they might have historically in doing what they are vending?
I'll tell you what I know. There's a guy named Urban Knezik. I've known Urban for probably close to 20 years now. Urban, many people believe, is probably the #1 curriculum person in the state of Texas. Now, he worked for Region 13 Service Center for many, many years, and that's where I got to know him. The service centers, there are 20 of them in the state. They serve different regions, different areas of the state, and they got together and kind of formed a collaborative, if you will, this is my understanding, and they began to put together these curriculum documents. This guideline, if you will, a guide, and above and beyond that, they got teachers and others to put together exemplar lessons. So so that folks could teach the curriculum with the appropriate level of rigor, as it will be, as the students will be tested on it. So I don't know that there's a big, long, it's not like it's a company that's been in business for 50 years or whatever. It's a relatively new concept. It is, in my estimation, the curriculum from K through 12 that most closely follows those state standards that Ronnie was talking about. There are some other curriculums that are 9 through 12 and others for elementary and da-da-da-da-da. But they give you the whole package in terms of assurance that you're following the state standards in kindergarten through grade 12. Let me conclude by this, because my voice is about gone, guys, and we've been here about an hour. Surely everybody's got some idea of kind of where we are and what we're doing. You know, public schools are failing, right?
Right.
You know that, don't you? I mean, that's what you hear. Now, Llano's public school isn't. Right, Nancy? We're doing pretty well. But public schools in Texas are failing. And we know that. Let me give you a few statistics, because this is what we know. 85.9% of the Texas class of 2011 graduated. 82% of the class of 2011 graduated on a college preparatory transcript route. Texas ranks number one. The class of 2011 ranked number one in the United States in graduation rate of Asian students, 95%. Texas ranked number one in the graduation rate of white students, 92%. Texas ranked number one in the graduation rate of black students, 81%. Texas ranked number two in the graduation rate of Hispanic students, 82%. Texas ranked number two in the graduation rate of students with disabilities, 77%. Texas ranked number two in the graduation rate of economically disadvantaged students, 84%. Now you say this must cost a lot of money to rank that high. Texas ranks between 37th and 44th in per pupil spending, depending upon the methodology that is used to make the calculation. The question before you is this: are you getting a good bang for your buck? Somebody wants you to believe Texas schools are failing. And I'd ask you to ponder the question, why? Thank you so much for having us tonight.
Get a free speaker. So one other comment. When I went on the Board of Trustees 8 years ago, I was asked to do so. I never had any intention of staying this long. I think, if anything, you know that we've got some rather formidable financial problems that are facing you. I spent a whole career helping a lot of companies solve those problems, from Fortune 500 companies all the way down to mom and pop operations. I have announced that I'm going to run again in the election in May, and I hope you'll all vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Before we conclude, Mr. Hill, Mr. Rudd, before we wrap up here, I want to make sure that I'm able to share with you my perspective on school security. I appreciate your comments and trying to make us understand that schools are safer than they might be. You asked what we were doing to protect you when you came in here, which is a fair question. But with all due respect, we didn't force you to come here. Our children, our grandchildren are forced one way or another by the state to go to some school somewhere. And when the state or local school district or any authority forces our children to collect in a place where they might be endangered, then those jurisdictions carry a great deal of responsibility. And in my mind, making those kids safe has to be priority number one. And if we have to choose between fixing a leaky roof and keeping the kids safe, just please understand where I'm coming down. I understand what you're talking about. The reason I bring this up, I think the school security system has a possibility of getting much worse in years to come. Society is changing. The nuts that are going around shooting people didn't exist when I was a kid. People are changing. It's different now. It's going to be different next year and the year after that. And if I were an Arab terrorist, and I just happened to have a spare M16 and I wanted to drive down Highway 16 when the band is out there practicing, I think I could make the news pretty easily. So, and I don't mean to be contentious, but please understand where I come from. Having said that, we want you to know we appreciate the fact that y'all took the time to come here and when the state folks come in and wave that in their face, maybe it'll help. Thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, moving along. Do we have any announcements? Cecily, you have a lady here, right?
I'll let her introduce herself.
Okay. Christina Patterson. She is with Highland Lakes Pregnancy Resource Center, and she would like for us to know about the organization she represents.
Hi, again, I'm Christine Patterson, and thank you so much for having me come talk to y'all. I'm originally from Ohio. I'm retired Air Force, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the Pregnancy Center. We've been around for about a year and a half, and we've been open since May 2011, and we are just hitting 300 ladies that we've been able to help. As you can see, I passed these out earlier, and I'll leave some here too in case anybody would like to have one and you didn't get one. But I want to tell you those babies that you're passing on right now are 12-week-old fetuses. And it really makes an impression on the ladies that come into the clinic, our clinic, excuse me. I don't want to ever say clinic. We're not medical. We're not medical. That comes into our center. We're there to be a voice for the babies that can't be a voice. And we're there for our community because, as you know, the economy is not great, and we're there. We're absolutely free. We give all kinds of services back to the community. And in our flyer, we give free pregnancy tests. We can give them a letter from Medicaid to start. We have Bible studies and prenatal and infancy classes and post-abortion healing classes, because there's over 43% of the women that have had abortions, and there's a need for healing. We also have a service where we can go out and talk to the youth. We have wanted to get into the school districts to talk to the kids about abstinence and STD awareness and HIV and such. And it's a big deal, and it's surprising what the kids don't know. I mean, it's amazing what you find out. I'm going to put in a plug for First Baptist Kingsland. On February 16th, they're having a purity conference for young ladies between the ages of 12 and 18. And that starts 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a Saturday. So just to let you know about that. I'm not going to talk very long, but I want you to know that if there's several ways that you could help us in the community to help others. We are not funded by any state or federal agency. We are, because of the simple fact that when a woman walks through that door, we're there to love on them, and we also present the gospel to them. And we don't want to be federally or state funded because of that reason. But I want you to know that we need volunteers. We definitely need prayer. And we need things like diapers, clothing. We take children's clothing, nicely, not overly used, but we'll take that because we always have people coming in for material items. Our phone number's on the brochure, and I'm gonna bring this back to I'll bring these or have these out here for you in case anybody needs one of these. But please, by any means, stop in, see what we're doing, and thank you so much for giving me this time.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
John, one real quick. Those books over there are free. Y'all might enjoy taking one of the Texas. What's like Texas Great is right there. TPP have put that together. You'd really enjoy that.
Yeah, this is good stuff. This is from the folks who've sent us so many good speakers. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say something that impressed me when I went to visit this pregnancy center in Kingsland, that caused me to try to get the word out in Llano because of the fact that they have no clients from Llano.
None.
They've been open a year and a half and they have not had a client from Llano. And I cannot help but think that there must be some women in Llano who have a need to know about this. So help spread the word,
Please,
please.
please, thank you so much.
Please consider any support you can provide for the Highland Lakes Pregnancy Center. Thank you. Other announcements? Any comments on the minutes, treasurer's report? Then those will stand accepted as read. Next month, our speaker is going to be Kathy Adams, is that right? She's going to talk to us about Agenda 21, which is a pretty sneaky way of getting environmental socialism installed in a lot of our local governments, among other things. So it'll be an interesting night. Any other business to come before this body? Can we have unanimous consent to adjourn? Yes. Let's go on. Oh, by the way, we need to help clean up the place. Last time we left a mess here.